Once again, Psalm 60. We're going to be looking at verse 4. Thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth. Selah. Now, many people living in America today, especially some religious groups or cults, do not believe in the American flag. They do not believe that it's biblical. And I say to them, then you shouldn't be here. I find it very disgusting when I run across a Jehovah's Witness, or I'm not even sure that, and I don't even think they do, but Amish, as much as their culture is kind of neat, and their dedication to work is kind of neat, they are no more different as a cult as the Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult, as the Mormons are a cult. And there's others that are a cult too. Not a cult, but a cult. And therefore, I have no patience with them. And when it comes to the American flag, and then they say, well, it's not scriptural, well, I'm going to prove that different today. Because I believe it is. And I believe there's a purpose for it. And there's a reason for it. The title of the message is Banner. Banner. Review of an introduction. Banners were very common in older times. Banners are mentioned 3 times in the Old Testament. Ensign, E-N-S-I-G-N, is found 8 times. They then had a significance they seem to have lost in these more uneventful days. There's many groups out there, and I would say Black Lives Matter is one of them, that they have no respect for the American flag. There's many groups that do not have respect for the American flag and will burn it at a drop of a hat. And I pray I never see it, because I wouldn't tolerate it. And they may get in trouble, but that's how it is. I'm American. I was born American. I believe in the American flag, and I believe there is a purpose for it and a reason for it. The banner of the cross, you may know the hymn, was written by Daniel W. Whittle in 1884. The first verse goes, there's a royal banner given for display to the soldiers of the king. As an ensign fair, we lift it up today, while as ransomed ones we sing. I always project to you that in order to understand the word, to look it up. Find out what it means. In this case, a banner means the flag of a country, an army, a troop, etc. An ensign, or the like being bearing some device, motto, or slogan as one carried in religious processions, political demonstrations. Ensign, a flag or banner, as a military or naval standard used to indicate nationality. Our American flag stands for something. It stands for America. It stands for the United States of America. What we want to look at this afternoon is some of the banners mentioned in the scriptures, especially for those who do not believe that it is scriptural. Psalm 20. Psalm 20, it has its meanings. which we will see here. But Psalm 20 in verse 5 and 6, it says, "We will rejoice in thy salvation. And in the name of our God, we will set up our banners. The Lord fulfill all thy petitions. Now know I that the Lord saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand." So the banner, more specifically the flag, is an open witness of salvation. We have a country that God gave us. He saved us from the tyranny of the British rule. He brought us over here to have freedom of religion, taxation with representation, and all that is gone. We no longer have taxation with representation. Totally far from it. And we are in tyranny. We are probably right now, with the president that is in office right now, is worse than King Henry ever was. He's a dictator. And he ain't too bright either. So the open witness of salvation here is saved. You know, when you see that American flag, you think, wow, how God saved us. Saved us from all that. We see that in the flag, God's salvation is received. Then rejoicing, of course, in thy salvation. Setting up the banner here surely means open witness to God. Let us bear a bold witness for God. That's what our flag represents. It not only represents our country, United States of America, but it represents freedom. It represents freedom of religion. It represents who we are and what we fought for to get where we are. And I think it's a shame, not because Brother Lonnie's sitting there, but I think it's a shame that we have some people that got rid of the Confederate flag. It means something. It was in our history. Now the history's gone. Our younger people will come up and we'll say, we may mention the Confederate flag. They're going to say, well, what's that? And they're not going to know our history. They're not going to know about the millions of men that died on the battlefield. No matter what side you were on, it was still that they died on the battlefield believing in something. That's what a banner does. It shows that we believe in something. Confederates believed in the South. In many other things that is never brought out in history, as Brother Lonnie can tell you. The Union, they had their flag too. It meant something for them as well. And not what people think it did. See, that's the thing. The misconception. And the misconception that we have today because our idiots in the government are trying to appease a certain class of people. That's all it's about. All the statues in the South have been taken down that represented the Confederate Army. What a tragedy. They erected those statues for a reason, for a purpose. Secondly, the flag, the banner, represents open testimony concerning love, communion We have communion with one another because we are Americans. We see in Song of Solomon, and you can turn there in chapter 2 and verse 4, the bride speaks here. This is us, the bride. And we speak here, he brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me was love. So see, it is very irritating when somebody doesn't bring up these definitions. And I said for a long, long time that there better ever, never in my sight see someone burning or urinating on the American flag. I wouldn't be a stander buyer, let's put it that way. I may get beat to death, and I may go to jail, but I ain't going to stand for it. Thousands upon thousands of men through the years of war after war after war in this country died for that flag. The bride also speaks because the true believer, see, the true believer speaks here. We believe in the American flag. We believe that it represents this country. Every country in the nation, in the world, every nation in the world has a flag to represent them. We see the American flag and the Israel flag flying side by side. We understand what that means. It means communion. They're on the same page. They were allies with one another. This is, here we have communion. We have an understanding. In India, those to be honored are garlanded with flowers. In Palestine, they were banners. We see in the wars of China and Japan and some of the wars that they fought and the banners that were flying, there was a reason for all that. I lost the word. It was an intimidation to the other side. When we see the American flag flying, it is an intimidation to the other country. They may hate it. That's good. They can hate it. But they understand what it means. They understand what's coming. They understand who's behind it. There's never been a battle fought that the flag or the banner was not presented on the field up front. If the person carrying the banner fell, the next guy would pick it up and carry on. Whether Confederate or Union or a revolutionary person or Americans, it was picked up and carried on. But now it's not respected at all. Half the time you see American flag flying wrongfully. Yeah, it's nice to go down the road and see somebody have the American flag hanging out on their porch or wherever, but they're not flying it correctly. Some people don't even understand or know. No flag flies above the American flag. To do so is to make a mockery of America. No American flag is to fly at night without a light shining on it. It was supposed to be treated with respect and dignity. It's to be folded one way, not all rolled up in a ball. And if the American flag, I don't care if it's one you buy at Walmart or wherever, if it hits the ground, it's to be burnt. Period. Because it's out of respect for that banner. Then we see in the Song of Solomon, turn there if you have already left it. Chapter 6 and verse 4. This is the open results of goodness and holiness. Verse 4 of chapter 6, it says, "Thou art beautiful, O my love, as Tirzah, comely as Jerusalem, terrible as an army with banners." You see an army coming with banners, you better watch out. You better be fearful. You know, it was an honor to carry that flag across the battlefield. It was an honor to carry that flag through anything. To keep it upright and off the ground, it was an honor. Don't you think the conjunction of beauty, comely, and terrible, do you not think that's strange? We have a beautiful flag, a comely flag, a terrible flag, because the enemy is coming for you. Every ship in the fleet flies the American flag. And it should be every government building in the United States should be flying the American flag. I think it's lost a lot of its respect and potency because anymore, anybody dies at a drop of a hat, they want to fly at half-mast, and I think that's ridiculous. I don't think some are deserving to have it flown at half-mast. When we see the American flag, we see a sanctified and a holy people are both an attraction and a terror. Don't mess with America. Don't mess with America. See, mere pretenders cannot tolerate the holy. They can't tolerate it. That's why they make it a disgrace. We know there's flags that are flying out there that bring disgrace to our God, to our Christianity, to the Bible. They're flying colors that do not belong to them. What a disgrace that is. Again, I'm a firm believer if you do not like the American flag, then go somewhere else. In fact, I don't want you here. If you can't respect me, American flag, and my country, then leave it. And I'll take you by the hand and I'll put you on a ship. And you go anywhere you want, but you don't stay here. Turn to Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 2 for our last one here, which is warfare. our warfare. Isaiah 13 and verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand, that they may go into the great gates of the nobles. So we see here a warfare, and there's the banner. It's going before us in our war. Because life is a fight. Judgment of the Lord upon Babylon is coming. Then there's a warfare that we fight every day of sin. A warfare of sin. So we need a banner that shows that we're not ashamed of our faith. We need a banner of open declaration by our banner or by following the banner. The American flag stands for freedom, justice, and the American way. I'm surprised that we're still allowed to stand and acknowledge it at football games. Taking away prayer and most about everything else, I'm surprised they allow us to do that, sing the national anthem. And even that has been degraded. So I say to all, if you do not like America, if you do not like the American flag, feel free to leave. Because I personally don't want you here, and I'm sure there's many that don't want you here either. May God bless His word to your heart today. Amen.